What's going on, guys? Welcome to Ajax Reviews. Today, it is episode 2 of Fiance Picks, and today we review You Might Be the Killer. Directed by Simmons, a camp counselor suffering from blackouts finds himself surrounded by murder victims. He turns to his horror movie enthusiast friend for advice, and to contend with the idea he may be the killer.
I'll have you know, it's a killer mask doing it, not my friend.
You Might Be the Killer. This is one of those movies that my fiance bought a few years ago, and we ended up watching it one of our movie nights that we had on Friday nights. It was just me, my fiance, and a friend of ours. We sit there and we watch horror movies and shit. And I didn't really think much of it at the time. It was one of those movies where I was kind of watching it, but then on my phone, but then watching it again, just, what the fuck ever. And so this is one of the movies that my fiance picked for Fiance Picks episode 2. So I put it in the DVD player and I watched it. Here's what I thought.
Come on. Okay. What the? Come on. Thank you.
Now, when I think of horror comedies, I think of some of the slapstick, laugh out loud horror comedies like Scary Movie or Tucker and Dale vs. Evil, shit like that. But not all horror comedies are created equal. You Might Be the Killer is a different kind of movie. It's more silly, but with the serious side.
Is it an old camper who got teased as a kid and is back for blood?
No.
Or is it a parent who's looking for revenge after a counselor let their kid drown?
Jesus, I hope not.
Or does one of the counselors have a formerly conjoined twin?
What movie is that from?
The cast was really fun and the movie flowed pretty well. The kills were cool and the effects was done pretty damn well. This movie was just kind of having fun with itself. The killer's mask was one of the coolest parts of the movie because it looked like a mix of a hockey mask and Groot, or the mask from The Mask. The characters' banter back and forth was actually pretty fun and enjoyable to listen to. It was never really over the top. It was one of those things where it's like she would say something and the other person would say something and you'd be like, I fucking get that reference. Like, I understand what the fuck she's saying. There were a lot of Easter eggs that they threw out. This movie was enjoyable as a horror movie or as a comedy. Either one. Alyson Hannigan was great and had some great fucking lines. Not only did her lines move the story along, but there was also a lot of throwbacks and a lot of homages paid to classic horror movies.
Freddy ugly or Matt Cordell ugly? Maniac cop?
I mean, it wasn't a perfect movie, but it was a fun movie. Now it's time to talk about some of the things in this movie that I liked. The effects. The effects and the kills were done very well. There was some really good gore. The blood looked great. The creativity of the kills was cool. For being a horror comedy, they fucking nailed it. Some other things about this movie that I really liked was the machete and the mask. Now the machete was like just a regular machete, but it had like a jawbone and shit on it from an animal. It looked really cool. And I've already explained about the mask. Another thing I really liked about this movie is it had an old school feel. I mean, it was made in 2018, but looked like it could have been made in 1986, 1987, somewhere around there. I mean, that's the feel that it puts off. Another thing I really liked was the flow and the presentation of the movie. I'm a big Tarantino fan, and I like it when movies jump all over the fucking place and then come together and go, there's the fucking movie. Like, you know, it explains a little bit here and a little bit there and a little bit there and it jumps around and then finally when it gets to the end, everything just comes to fruition and you're just like, okay, I see what the fuck was going on there. I liked that. Now it's time to talk about some of the things that I didn't like. There really wasn't anything that I disliked in this movie. Like, if I had to choose something, it wouldn't be something that I disliked. It would have to be something that I think other people may dislike. And that's the way that the timeline jumped around. Like I said before, I enjoyed that. I'm a big Tarantino fan. I like the way that, you know, he tells stories, and this movie was told in a similar way. For people that aren't into that, I could see them not liking this movie for that reason. So, in conclusion, would I recommend this movie? Fuck yes, I would. It's the perfect mix, man. It's enough to make a horror fan happy, and it's enough to make a comedy fan happy. I mean, it doesn't go over the top, and it's just enough to satisfy both genres. It never took itself seriously, and it's a movie you can enjoy no matter your genre preference. And with that being said, I'm going to give this movie a 4 out of 5. And that's going to do it for me for today, guys. So remember, until next time, stay smart, stay clean, keep the dream, don't let the man get you down, because if he does, he may put on a Groot hockey mask, bend you over, and introduce you to his bone machete. And you don't want that. Well, because you'll need hemorrhoid cream, and then, a donut, and that's just painful. No,